Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome to all of you in Shri Jayendra Rank Zone. I am your friend and mentor for the subject Business Economics. In this lecture, we'll continue with Chapter 4, that is Price Determination in Different Markets, and in particular, we'll continue with Unit 3, that is Price Output Determination under Different Market Forms. All the concepts will be covered in the coming series of lecture. This is lecture number 5. The first concept that we are going to discuss today is short-run supply curve of the firm in a competitive market. What does short-term supply curve depicts? Just see over here. At a price of, in short run, when price is 2 rupees, at that point of time, the quantity demand was Q1. When the price moved from 2 rupees to 3 rupees, the quantity demanded shifted from, or the quantity supplied shifted from OQ2. At price OP3, the quantity supplied was OQ3, and at price OP4, the quantity supplied was OQ4. Over here, MC curve is also known as supply curve. In short run supply curve, we can say that MC equal to S, that is supply, and this curve, that is AVC, average variable cost, depicts the average variable cost. Just read the text now. One intersecting thing about MC curve of the firm is perfectly competitive industry is that it depicts firm supply curve. That means what? MC equal to S, that is supply curve. Suppose the market price of the product is rupee 2, corresponding to it, we have D1 as the demand curve of the firm. At a price of 2, the firm supply, that is Q1, and output, because here MC equal to MR. MC equal to MR. Over here, students, this demand curve, that is D, depicts what? We can say that D equal to P equal to MR equal to AR. This is already discussed. D, that is demand curve, equal to price equal to marginal revenue equal to average revenue. So in perfect competition, we can say that the MC curve of the firms will depict the firm's supply curve. So S equal to MC. If the market price is rupee 3, that corresponding to demand at D2, 3 at demand D2 curve. At 3, the quantity supplied is Q2, as you can see it over here. At 3, the quantity supplied is Q2. Similarly, we have the curve D3 over here, the curve D3 and the curve D4 corresponding to the supplies at Q3 and Q4. Over here, this is Q3 and this is Q4. The firm's marginal cost curve, which gives the marginal cost corresponding to each level of output, is nothing but the firm's supply curve that gives various quantities of the firm will apply at each level. I believe you understood till here. Let us continue. For price below average variable cost, the firm will supply 0 units. Why? Because the firm is unable to meet its even variable cost. So if the price is below the average variable cost, where the firm is not able to cover up its variable cost also, the firm should not be ready in supplying the goods. For prices above average variable cost, we can say that the firm will equate price and marginal cost. When price is high enough to meet average variable cost, the firm will decide to continue its production. In figure 17, at price 2, the average variable cost of the firm is covered, and therefore the firm need not shut down at price 2. Just see over here. So at price 2, the firm should not shut down. Why? Because the average variable cost is already covered over here. Thus, In perfect competition, the firm's marginal cost curve above average variable cost curve has the identical shape of the firm's supply curve, S equal to MC, that is marginal cost curve. Understood? Let us continue with the next topic that talks about, can a competitive firm earn profit? Can a competitive firms in the market earn profit? In the short run, a firm will attain equilibrium position and at the same time it may earn supernormal profits, normal profits or even losses depending upon the cost conditions. Following are the three possibilities that could happen. Let's see the first possibility, and that is supernormal profits. So supernormal profits is a situation where average revenue is greater than average cost. Average revenue is greater than average cost. There is a difference between normal profits and supernormal profits, or you can say abnormal profits. Abnormal profits. When the average revenue of the firm is just equal to the average total cost, we can say that there is a zero economic profit. This is a situation which is known as normal profits, where average revenue is equals to average cost. This is a situation of normal profits or zero economic profits. This is to be noted that here a normal percentage of profits for the entrepreneur for his managerial services is already included in the cost of production. So when a firm's on supernormal profits, its average revenue are more than its average total cost. So average revenue is greater than average total cost. So this is a situation of supernormal profit. Thus we can say that in addition to normal rate of return, the firm earns some additional profits. The following example will make the above concept clear. Just see it over here. Suppose the cost of producing 1000 units of the product is 15,000. The entrepreneur has invested 50,000 rupees in the business and the normal rate of return is 10%. That means he will earn what? 50,000 multiplied by 10,000, that is 5,000. That is the cost of self-owned factor, that is the capital used in the business, or implicit cost is 5,000. The entrepreneur would have earned rupee 5,000, that is 10% of 50,000, if he had invested it somewhere else. Thus, we can say that the total cost of production is 20,000, 15,000 plus 5,000. If a firm is selling the product at rupee 20, it is earning normal profits because AR equal to 20 is equal to ATC, that is 20. If the firm is selling the product at 22 per unit, the average revenue is 22 and this is greater than the average total cost, that is 20, and it is earning a supernormal profit of rupee 2 per unit. I believe you understood. Do it once again. So over here the implicit cost is 5,000, 50,000 multiplied by 10%. The entrepreneur would have earned 5,000, 10% of 50,000 if he had invested it somewhere else. The total cost of the firm is 20,000, 15,000 plus 5,000. That means what? This 15,000 is a cost plus the interest that we will receive is also a cost. So 15 plus 5 is 20,000. If the selling price is 20, the earning normal profits is 20 and is equal to average total cost. Average total cost is also 20. So we can say that average total cost is also 20 and the earning is also 20. So it is a normal profit situation. But if we want to learn about the abnormal profit situation or supernormal profit situation, over here, if a firm is selling the product at 22 and not at 20, the average revenue will be 22, the average cost will be 20, and we can say that the firm is earning supernormal profit of 2, that is 22 minus 20. See this diagram. Figure 18, short run equilibrium, that is supernormal profits of a competitive firm. This is marginal cost curve, this is average total cost. Average total cost. Over here AR equal to MR equal to P, average revenue equal to marginal revenue equal to price. I believe you understood till here. So this could also be known as equal to D, that is demand. We can say that over here for supernormal profits, AR should be greater than AC at a point where MR equal to MC, MC cuts MR from below. This is the condition. MR equal to MC and MC cuts the MR from below. Just see it over here. So this is marginal cost curve. This is marginal revenue. Over here, MR equal to MC and MC cuts MR from below. So at this level, we can say that average revenue is lower than average cost, and the difference between average revenue and average cost constitute what? Supernormal profit, that is abnormal profit. This is depicted over here by this shaded area. I believe you understood why this happens. So all the firms in the industry which have a similar kind of cost behavior will be earning supernormal profits, but new firms or new entrants will try to enter in the market by seeing this, and later on the supernormal profits will be converted into normal profits. Not today, but later on. Just see this explanation. Figure 18 shows that the revenue and cost curve of the firm which earns supernormal profits in the short run. Marginal revenue curve is a horizontal line and marginal cost curve is U-shaped curve which cuts the MR curve at E, that is the point of equilibrium. The firm is in equilibrium at point E where marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. OQ is the quantity equilibrium output of the firm. At this level, the output, the average revenue or price of the unit is EQ. So at OQ, it is EQ. The quantity is EQ. And the average total cost curve is BQ. The firm's profit per unit is EB, that is AR minus ATC. This EB, AR minus ATC, this gap. So we can say that total profits are ABEP, ABEP or PEBA. Applying the principle of total profit equal to total revenue minus total cost, we find that the total profit by finding the difference between OPEQ and OABQ, which is equal to AEEB. Look at one more time. OPEQ, OPEQ minus OABQ, OABQ. So OPEQ minus OABQ. So this shaded area will be known as what? Profit. Which profit? Supernormal profits. I believe you understood till here. Okay, students. So we'll begin with the normal profits now. When a firm just meets its average total cost, it earns normal profit. So we can say that average revenue equal to average total cost. So at this point, average revenue is equal to marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, and that's it. That is basically average total cost. Understood? See the graphical presentation of short run equilibrium of a competitive firm, that is normal profits. So normal profits basically is a situation where average revenue is equal to average cost. As you can see in this diagram, in the given graphical presentation, we can say that the firm obtains equilibrium position at point OQ over here, and at point OP is the equilibrium price. At this level, the firm will be earning only normal profits over here, that is average revenue equal to marginal revenue equal to price, only normal profits, since normal profits are already included in the computation of average cost. If I talk about theoretically, the industry as a whole should also be in an equilibrium in this stage of normal profits, but such industry equilibrium can be achieved only in the long run. Over here it won't be achieved. For normal profits, you can say that MR equal to MC and MC cuts from below. So in this figure, MR equal to MC is at point E. The equilibrium output is OP. At this level of output, we can say that the average revenue or price covers the full cost. That is average total cost. Since average revenue equal to average total cost, we can say that OP equal to EQ. OP equal to EQ. The firm is just earning normal profits, applying total revenue minus total cost. We find that the total revenue minus total cost is zero. This means what? The firm is earning only zero economic profits. That means normal profits. Zero economic profits, that means normal profits. Let us see a situation of losses in the short run equilibrium position. How can we find losses in a short run equilibrium position where average revenue is less than average cost? This is a situation of losses. The firm can be in equilibrium position and still make losses. This is a situation when the firm is minimizing the losses. For all prices above the minimum point of average variable cost, the firm will stay open and will produce the level of output at which marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. When the firm is able to meet its variable cost and a part of its fixed cost, it will try to continue the production in the short run. If it recovers a part of the fixed cost, it will be beneficial for the continue to do the production, because fixed costs such as cost towards plant and machinery, building are already included. In such case, it will be able to recover a part of them. But if the firm is unable to meet its average variable cost, it will be better to shut down. If the firm won't be able to achieve its average variable cost, cover its average variable cost, it is better to shut down, because this is a firm who is plainly making losses, and this shutdown may be temporary, but when the market price rises, the firm resumes its operation, that is the production. See this diagram. Over here on x-axis the quantity output is plotted. Over here in y-axis the price is plotted. This is a U-shaped average total cost. Marginal cost you are familiar with. This is D equal to P equal to AR equal to MR. In this diagram, as you are seeing over here, the firm obtains equilibrium position at OQ at OP price. At OP price, the firm attains the equilibrium position at OQ over here, that is OQ units. At this level, average revenue is lesser than average cost. As you can see over here, this is the average total cost over there, and average revenue is over here. The difference over here, the difference between the average revenue and the average cost constitute what? Nothing but losses. As you can see over here, the difference constitute nothing but losses. All the firm in the industry which have similar behavior who are incurring losses. But whether the firm shut downs or not depend upon the recovery of variable cost. If the firm will be able to recover its variable cost in a shorter point of time, it will again resume the. In figure 20 is the equilibrium point. At this point, AR equal to EQ. This is AR equal to EQ. Over here EQ, or average total cost equal to BQ. So as you can see, the average total cost is greater as compared to the average revenue. That is BQ is greater than EQ. So we can say that average total cost is greater than as compared to average revenue. The firm is having per unit losses equal to BE. This part BE, and the total loss is ABEP. ABEP, the shaded area. The shaded area constitute the losses. Let us see the illustrations now. Tasty Burgers is a small kiosk selling burgers and is a price taker. Price taker in the sense perfect competition, working in a perfect competitive environment. The table below provides the data of Tasty Burgers output and cost in rupees. So over here the quantity, this is output is showing, and over here the cost in rupees is shown. Question 1. If burger sells for 14 rupees each, what is Tasty Burger's profit maximizing level of output? If the burger sells for 14 each, what is Tasty Burger's profit maximizing level of output? Question 2. What is the total variable cost when 60 burgers are produced? Total variable cost when 60 burgers are produced. What is the average fixed cost when 20 burgers are produced? And between 10 and 20 burgers, what is the MC? That is the marginal cost. These are the 4 questions. Let us try to solve these questions now. Since the total cost when 0 product is produced at 100, over here the quantity is 0, the total cost is 100. That means what? The fixed cost is 100. That means the fixed cost is 100. So fixed cost is 100 at every level of output. This is the total cost 100, 200, 200 minus 100. So variable cost would be 110. 300 minus 100, it would be 200. 400 minus 100, it would be 300. 540 minus 100, it would be 440. 790 minus 100, 690. 1060 minus 100, 960. Average variable cost. We got the variable cost and now we need to average it out. 110 divided by 10. 110 divided by 10 is 11. 200 divided by 20 is 10. 300 divided by 30 is 10. 440 by 40 is 11. 690 divided by 50 is 13.8. 960 divided by 60 is 16. Average fixed cost. We have fixed cost with us. 100 divided by 10 equal to 10. 100 divided by 20 equal to 5. 100 divided by 30 equal to 3.33. 100 divided by 40 equal to 2.5. 100 divided by 50 equal to 20. And 100 divided by 60 equal to 1.66. Marginal cost, that is change in total cost. We have total cost over here. 210 minus 100, we got 110. 300 minus 210, we got 90. 400 minus 300, we got 100. 540 minus 100, we got 140. 790 minus 540, we got 250. And 1060 minus 790, we got what? 270. Marginal cost. Marginal cost, that is change in total cost, but this is average marginal cost. See the question, what they have asked. Between 10 and 20 burger, what is the marginal cost? marginal cost between 10 and 20 burgers. This is average marginal cost. 110 divided by 10 is 11. 90 divided by 10 is 9. 100 divided by 10 is 10. 140 divided by 10 is 14. 250 divided by 10, 25. 270 divided by 10 is 27. Question number 1. Just see it properly. Question number 1. The price of burger is 14 since it is given that Tasty Burger is a price taker. It is a perfectly competitive market, and in a perfectly competitive market all the products are sold at a same price. It means AR equal to MR. In order to find out profit maximizing level of output, MR should be equal to MC, MR equal to MC. Here AR equal to MR equal to 14. From this table we can see that MR, that is 14, equal to MC, that is 14, when 40 burgers are produced, and therefore the profit maximizing level of output of burgers is 40 units. Okay, so if the burger is priced at 14 each, the output would be 40 units. Let's see question number 2 now. The total variable cost at 60 burgers. So at 60 burgers over here, the total variable cost would be 960. Average fixed cost at 20 burgers. At 20 burgers, average fixed cost is 5 rupees. At 20, the average fixed cost is 5 rupees. Between 10 and 20, the marginal cost is 9, because it was earlier it was 11 and then we have 9, so marginal cost is 9. Let us continue. Long run equilibrium of a competitive firm. So in the industry, it could be said that the industry is having long run equilibrium when all the firms are either earning the normal profits, that is, all the firms in the long run are earning normal profits, and there is no further entry barriers or exit of the firm from the market. So there is no such possibility is there in the market, but this is for long term. Let us see the text now. So in the short run, one or more of the firms input are fixed. In the long run, firms can alter the scale of production, operations, or quit the industry, and the new firms can enter into the industry. Everything is possible. So in a market with entry and exit, a firm enters when it believes that it can earn a positive long run profit, and exit when it faces the possibility of long run losses. Firms are in equilibrium in the long run where they have adjusted their plant so as to produce the minimum point of their long run average total cost curve, which is tangent to the demand curve defined by the market price. In the long run, the firms will be earning just normal profits. There would be no super normal profits or abnormal profits. So, which is indicated in average total cost. So, if they are making super normal profits in the short run, new firms will be attracted into the industry, and this will lead to the price to fall, a downward shift in the individual demand curves, an upward shift in the cost curves due to increase in the prices of factor of industry expands. These changes will continue until the average total cost is tangent to the demand curve. Average total cost is tangent to the demand curve. If the firms make losses in the short run, they will leave the industry in the long run. This will raise the price and cost may fall as the industry contracts until the remaining firms in the industry cover up the total cost inclusive of the normal rate of return or normal rate of profit. In figure 1 we'll see that we show how firms adjust to long run equilibrium positions as in the short run the firm faces horizontal demand curve, that is, if the price is OP, the firm is making supernormal profit working with that plant whose cost is denoted by SSE1, short run average cost curve 1. If the firm believes that the market price will remain at OP level, it will have incentive to build new capacity and it will move long along its LSE, long run average cost curve. At the same time, new firms will be entering into the industry and attracted by the excess profits that is enjoyed by the rest of the firms or rest of the firms of the industry. As a quantity supplied in the market increases, the supply curve of the market will shift to the right and price will fall until it reaches to the level OP industry in the long run equilibrium. Long run equilibrium of the firm in a perfectly competitive market. The condition for the long run equilibrium of the firm is that the marginal cost should be equal to the price. Over here, the marginal cost should be equal to the price, and the long run average cost curve LMC equal to LSE equal to P. At this point, as you can see, LMC equal to LSE equal to P. So this is the condition for long run equilibrium. The firm adjusts its plant size so as to produce that the level of output at which LAC is the minimum possible. At equilibrium level, we can say that the short run marginal cost curve is equal to the long run marginal cost curve, and the short run average cost curve is equal to the long run average cost curve. Thus, in long run, we have SMC short run marginal cost curve equals to LMC long run marginal cost curve equals to SAC, that is short run average cost curve equals to long run average cost curve equals to price equals to marginal revenue over here at this point of time. This implies that the minimum point of LAC, long run average cost curve, the corresponding short run plant is worked at optimal capacity so that the minima of LAC and SAC coincide, and on the other hand LMC cuts the LAC at its minimum point and SMC cuts the SAC at its minimum point. Thus the minimum point of LAC of the above equality is achieved. The next is long run equilibrium of the industry. What will happen in long run equilibrium of the industry? Just see it over here. As the supply, the new firm, the new entrants have entered into the firm, the supply has increased, the demand remains constant. Because the supply has increased, the price will fall from P to P1. This price will falls from P to P1 and everyone will have what? Normal profits. Nobody will enjoy abnormal profits. Read the text. A long run competitive equilibrium of a perfectly competitive industry occurs when three conditions hold good. First, all firms in the industry are in equilibrium. That is, all firms are maximizing profits. First condition. Condition number two, no firm has an incentive either to enter or to exit the industry because all firms are earning zero economic profit, that is normal profits. All the firms in the long run, all the firms of the industry in the long run are enjoying what? Normal profits only. The price of the product is such that the quantity supplied by the industry is equal to the quantity demanded by the consumer. I believe you understood all the three conditions. Just see over here. Demand, supply, equilibrium quantity, equilibrium price. It is same that we have seen over here. Figure 22 shows that in the long run, AR equal to MR equal to LSE equal to LMC at E1. In the long run, each firm attains the plant size and output level at which its cost per unit is as low as possible. Since equilibrium 1 is the minimum point at LAC curve, The firm produces equilibrium output at OM at the minimum and optimum cost. A firm producing output at optimum level is called optimum firm. In the long run, all the firms under perfect competition are optimum firms having optimum size, and these firms charge what? Minimum possible price and enjoying what? Normal profits, which just covers the marginal cost. Thus, in the long run, under perfect competition, the market mechanism leads to optimum allocation of resources. The optimality is shown by the following outcome associated with the long run equilibrium of the industry. The first is the output is produced at a minimum feasible cost. B. Consumers pay the minimum possible price which just covers the marginal cost. We can say that MC equal to AR, average revenue, P equal to MC. So AR equal to P equal to MC. Third, plant are used to full capacity in the long run so that there is no wastage of resources. MC equal to AC, marginal cost equal to average cost because there is no wastage. Firms only earns what? Normal profit, that is at average revenue equal to average cost. Firms maximize profit where MR equal to MC and MR is equal to MC and MC should be rising. That means what? That MC curves the MR curve from below, which is the level of profits, and just be normal. And there is an optimum number of industry firms in the industry. In other words, we can say that in the long run, LAR equal to LMR equal to P equal to LMC equal to LAC, and there is an optimum level of allocation of resources. It should be remembered over here that the perfectly competitive market system is a myth. This is because the assumptions on which the system is based is never found in the real world market conditions. I believe you understood. Let's move to the next topic now, and that is monopoly. Monopoly is defined where a single seller is available in the market. Single seller is there in the market, and there are large number of buyers, and large number of buyers exists. He is a price maker and not a price taker. The word monopoly means alone to sell. So monopoly is a situation in which there is a single seller of the product and no close substitutes of the products are available. My dear students, you should understand that the substitutes are available, but close substitutes are not available. Pure monopoly is never found in practice. However, in public utilities such as transport, water, electricity, we generally find monopoly form of market. Let's see the features of monopoly market. Point number one, single seller of the product. So in a monopoly market, as you know already, that there is only one firm producing or supplying the product. The single firm constitutes the industry, and as such, there is no distinction between the firm and the industry. Why? Because in the industry, only one firm is there. If I talk about the railway industry in India, only one firm is there, and that is Indian Railway. Only one firm exists, that is Indian Railway, and there is a barrier to entry. So monopoly is characterized by the absence of competition in the market because there is no close substitute available. No close substitute available. I believe you understood. Let us see point number two, that is barrier to entry. In a monopolistic market, there is a strong barrier to entry. The barriers to entry could be economic barriers, institutional barrier, legal barrier, or artificial created barrier. The third is no close substitutes. A monopoly firm has full control over the market supply of the product or service. A monopolist is a price maker and not a price taker. The monopolist generally sells a product which has no close substitutes. In such a case, the cross elasticity of demand of the monopolist product and other product is zero or very small. The price elasticity of demand for monopolist product is also less than 1. As a result of this, the monopolist faces a steep downward sloping demand curve. Next is market power. Point number 4. A monopoly has the market power. That is, it has the ability to charge a higher price or charge a price above the marginal cost and earn what? Positive profits. While to some extent all goods are substitute for one another, there are many be essential characteristics in a good or group of goods which give rise to gaps in the chain of substitutions. If one producer can so exclude competition that he controls the supply of the whole good, he can said to be a monopolist, a single seller. Monopolist, the single seller. My dear students, monopolist is a person who is an entrepreneur of a monopolistic in the monopoly industry. And monopolistic industry is a total different form of market. How do monopolies arise? How does it forms? So the fundamental cause of monopoly is barrier to entry. The in effect of other firms cannot enter the market. A few reasons for occurrence and continuation of monopoly are: number 1, strategic control over scarce resources. Inputs scarce technology by a single firm, limiting the access of other firms to these resources. This means what? That the other firms can't get access to these resources and enjoy profits out of it, make profit out of it. Second, through developing or acquiring control over a unique product that is difficulty or costly for other companies to copy. Third, government granting exclusive rights to produce and sell a good or service constitutes what? Constitutes monopoly. Fourth, patents and copyright given by the government to protect intellectual property rights and to encourage innovation constitutes monopoly. Point number 5, business combinations or cartels illegal in most of the countries. Yes, in India also it is illegal. Where former competitors cooperate on pricing of the market share and they price the product in such a way that everyone is charging the same price. Extremely large startup cost even to enter the market in a modest way. The requirement of extraordinary, costly and sophisticated technical know-how discourage firms to enter into the market. Seventh, natural monopoly arises when there is a very large economies of scale. A single firm can produce the industry's whole output or a lower unit cost than two or more firms could be. It is often wasteful for consumers and the economy to have more than one supplier in a region because of the high cost of duplicating the infrastructure. For example, telephone service, natural gas supply, and electrical power distribution. Eighth, enormous goodwill enjoyed by a firm for a considerably long period create difficult barriers to entry. iPhone, the Apple products, they have created enormous goodwill. They enjoy the enormous goodwill, extraordinary goodwill, and that is why the people are ready to pay higher prices for their phones or MacBooks or laptops. Ninth, stringent legal and regulatory requirements effectively discourage entry of new firms without being specifically prohibited. 10th, firms use various anti-competitive practices often referred to as predatory tactics such as limiting the pricing or predatory pricing intended to do away with existing or potential competition. So generally predatory pricing is not allowed. It is considered as illegal in most of the countries because it violates the basic law of competition. And what happens generally in predatory pricing, the manufacturer set prices very low. The large manufacturer sets prices at very low. In such a case, there would be so many sellers which we would not be able to compete with the selling prices, and they lose the market, they get out of the market, and so on. In real life, pure monopolies are not common because monopolies are either regulated monopolies or prohibited altogether in the market. But one producer may dominate the supply of goods or group of goods earlier in public utilities also, transport, water, electricity generation. Monopolistic market exists so as to reap the benefits of large scale production, but these markets have been deregulated and open to competition over a period of time. In India, Indian Railways have monopoly in rail transportation. There is government monopoly over production of nuclear power plant also. Let's move to the next topic now. Monopolist revenue curve. So in the absence of government intervention, a monopolist is free to set any prices it desires and will usually set the prices that yields the largest possible profit. Since the monopolist firm is assumed to be the only producer in a particular industry or of a particular product, its demand curve is identical with the market demand curve of the product. The market demand curve, which exists the total quantity of the product that buyers will offer to buy at each possible prices, shows that the quantity that the monopolist will be able to sell at every prices that he sets. If we assume over here that the monopolist set a single price and supplies all buyers who wish to purchase at that price only, we can easily find the average revenue and the marginal revenue curves. Marginal revenue curves will be a bit steeper as compared to average revenue curve. See over here, suppose the straight line in figure 23 is the market demand curve for a particular product, that is A. Suppose Messrs X and Company is the only producer in the market of product A, so that it faces the entire market demand. The firm faces a downward sloping demand curve because it wants to sell more of it and to reduce the price of the product. We have tabulated hypothetical values of the price and quantity in table 6 below and have computed the amount of average, total and marginal revenues at various levels. Just see this table. Quantity 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Average revenues, that is price, 9.5, 10, 9.5, 9, 8.5, 8, 7.5, 7, 6.5, 6, 5.5, 5 and 4.5. Average revenues. This is total revenue. This would be 9.5. Over here it is 9.5 plus, over here it is 9 multiplied by 2, which is 18. 8.5 multiplied by 3, 25.5. 8 multiplied by 4, 32. 7.5 multiplied by 5, 37.5. 7 multiplied by 6, 42. 6.5 multiplied by 7, 45.5. 6 multiplied by 8, 48. 5.5 multiplied by 9, 49.5. 5 multiplied by 10, 50. And 4.5 multiplied by 11, 49.5. Marginal revenue, that is change in total revenue. Over here it is 9.5, then 8.5, then 7.5 and so on. Over here it is minus 0.5, that is minus 50 paisa. If the seller wishes to charge rupees 10, he cannot sell any unit and no buyer will, basically no buyer would be willing to buy at such a high price. Alternatively, if it wants to sell 10 units, the price cannot be higher than rupee 5 because the seller charges a single price for all units he sells, that is average revenue per unit is identical to price, and thus the market demand curve in is the average revenue curve for the monopolist. See over here, if he wants to sell 10 units, he need to charge the price as 5 rupees. In perfect competition, average and marginal revenues are identical, but this is not the case with monopoly since the monopolist know that if he wishes to increase the sales, it will have to reduce the price of the product. Consider the example given over here. If the sales will be, if his sales, he will have to reduce the price. Consider the example, if the seller wishes to sell 3 units, he will have to reduce the price from 9 to 8.5. From 9 to 8.5 if he wants to sell 3 units. The third unit sold of rupees 8.5 only. This adds to 8.5 to the firm's revenue. But in order to sell third unit, the firm has to lower the price of all the 3 units from 9 to 8.5. Thus, he receives 0.5 less on each of the 2 units that could have been sold at rupee 9. The marginal revenue over the interval from 2 to 3 units is the 7.5 only. Again, if he wishes to sell 4 units, he will have to reduce the price from 8.5 to 8. The marginal revenue here will be 6.5 only. It must reduce the price to sell additional output. So the marginal revenue on the additional unit sold is lower than the price because it gets less revenue for previous units as well. It has to reduce the price to the same amount for all units. The relationship between average revenue and marginal revenue of a monopoly firm can be stated as follows. First, average revenue and marginal revenue are both negatively sloped. That is downward sloping curves. See over here. Average revenue and marginal revenues are both negatively sloped, that is downward sloping curves. See the diagram. Second, the slope of MR is twice that of AR. The slope of MR is twice that of AR. So this is AR curve and this is the slope of MR curve. The slope of MR curve is twice as compared to AR. MR curve is steeper as compared to AR. MR curve lies halfway between AR curve and the y-axis. That is, it cuts the horizontal line between y-axis and cuts AR into two equal parts. See over here, like this part is equal to this part. This part is equal to this part because MR curve cuts AR and this x-axis to two equal parts. Let us continue. AR cannot be 0, average revenue is price and price cannot be 0, but MR could be 0 or even could be negative. The marginal revenue, that is change in revenue, could be even 0 or it could be negative also. So monopolies are the mainly of two types. Simple monopoly, where the monopolist charges uniform price from all the buyers, and discriminating monopoly, where the monopolist charges different prices from different buyers of the same good or same services. We shall look into equilibrium of simple monopolist. I believe you understood. You understood over here basically The relationship between average revenue and marginal revenue of a monopoly firm can be as follows. First of all, they are negatively sloped. First. Second, MR curve is twice that of AR curve. And third, AR could be 0 but AR cannot be 0 because AR is P, but MR could be either 0 or could be even negative Students, we will continue from here in the next class. We are stopping here. We will continue from here in the next class. Thank you.